Would I have any issue with what's going on around me with the 19 piousness?
Um,
Because I am Christian.
you tell me. Would your piety, I mean, elves are pagan. They are
Hmm.
pagan in their religion, and there are a number of pagan symbols everywhere. They, the prominence of horns and sort of like moon shapes, and just like weavings of branches into little charms that hang from the boughs of trees all over the place. So, what do you think?
Um, is it Caliborn? Is that his name?
Yeah, Caliborn.
Is he like the only uh like who does he doesn't answer to anyone here, right? All these people serve him.
Yes, he's
Who
the Lord.
who is like the second in command or something like that?
There is a prominent steward who seems to be overseeing the festivities. Maybe someone kind of not like Earl Roderick, because that would be sort of like Lord Caliborn, but maybe more like Sir Elad, who was the guy who trained you guys
Mm,
back when you were just starting out. And he runs the estates and manages the affairs and sees the training of young knights, that sorts of thing. So,
I would say I don't know what I talked to him about, but I would say I follow him around and keep an open eye on to what he's doing while Caliborn is tending to Quinn. And then once Caliborn comes back from that, I turn my eyes to him and keep a close eye on him. Because I'm a
yeah,
little bit nervous and anxious about being here.
yeah. Um, so Dugan is sort of bustling here and there and directing servants and making sure that everybody has what they need. And as the evening darkens and the alien stars come out above you, shining down with a brilliant silver light. Actually, the lightning bug lanterns in the trees actually you hear this strange repetitive clicking like as of insects sort of like snapping their wings together, and
Right.
all of a sudden each of the globes like rushes and changes color from a golden light to a silver light.
Huh.
And all of a sudden the glade is plunged into a twilight darkness. The gentleman that you're following around is named Sir Dugan. And you as you speak with him, he's a fairly congenial man, and he's primarily interested in, bolstering Caliborn's spirits and attending to the needs of the encampment because you're actually quite far from any sort of settlement in Ferry.
Right.
This is just a what was intended to be a temporary encampment, but has become kind of a permanent sort of place.
I try to speak with Dugan and find out what type of fighter what is it? Something Cali something?
Caliborn,
Caliborn.
Caliborn.
Find out what type of fighter Caliborn is
yes.
in terms of both equipment and in like ferocity and strength.
Let me see. Um,
Maybe you have a battle plan book you can just hand us. I don't know.
wow, that's yeah, this is wild. Okay, so let me find out what kind of armors there are in this book. Yeah, he begins telling you tales of Caliborn's glory and his expertise on the field of battle, and the laundry list of his achievements is just
He's done a
like
lot.
yeah, you sit and listen for like 15 minutes and then half an hour and then before you know it an hour has gone by and he's still talking about like the glorious deeds of this guy. Let me see. I think there's more armor in the Great Pendragon campaign, which tells you how strong his armor is that it's not in the basic rulebook.
Does he say what weapon he wielded while doing these glorified deeds or anything like that?
He has a mithril scimitar that is
When you're fucked.
it's 2.5 feet long, curved, wicked, with spikes on the backside,
Does he fight two-handed or one-handed?
one-handed with a shield,
Okay.
of course. So let me see here. I think he's wearing some kind of plate armor, which to you just sounds completely ridiculous.
Because we don't know what plate armor is.
Well, it's like
It
he's
hasn't been
encased.
invented or something, right?
Right. He's encased in solid strips of metal when he fights.
Okay.
And the metal is so light and so finely smithed that he has like complete freedom of movement while doing it. So as he's describing this armor to you, you're just like, it would be like someone describing an iPhone to you. You're kind of like, what?
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. I tell Dugan, thank you very much for the stories. The Caliborn seems like much like he will prove a great foe for Quinn, but that I am not worried for tomorrow's fight.
Yeah. So
that we should
Caliborn,
both be honored to be in the presence of both Caliborn and Quinn. And then I walk
Sir
off.
Dugan nods and he agrees graciously. And he starts leading you back towards the pavilion, saying, "Come, Caliborn will lead you to your tent, where you may rest for the night in preparation for tomorrow's duel." And so Caliborn comes out, and he's leading Sir Quinn, and that's where Sir Quinn gets back together with Sir Philip. And Sir Lunette, are you back in the tent as well? You were trying to find the Elven women, right?
Yeah.
So Caliborn leads Sir Quinn over to Sir Philip, and he sort of stops, just staring over your shoulder, Sir Philip.
I'll look at him. Yes?
And Caliborn says, you must forgive me. I have been most inhospitable. I am terribly sorry. I have treated you boorishly. Please, think nothing of it. I will return momentarily. And he just turns around, tossing his cloak as he goes, and strides back out of the tent in the way that he came.
I look at Quinn. What was that all about?
I have
Can
no
I follow him?
idea.
Sure, you can follow him. Yeah.
You said he was looking over my shoulder?
Yes.
I look over my shoulder.
You see, a couple of elven servants drinking by the light of a small campfire down at the other end. You see a group of elven women who Lunette was just about to go approach. There's nothing terribly strange over in that direction. Nothing
Quinn, do you
untoward.
think you meant the women?
Actually,
Lunette?
why don't you give me an awareness roll?
Ooh, my awareness is...
This is pretty high, right?
5.
Nope, never mind.
Oh, right.
Mine is.
17.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, you're looking in that direction and you don't even see anything out of the ordinary.
He's like, them are some hot ladies.
I'm with,
Elves? Yeah,
I
elves,
can make
elves,
that
okay.
same roll, right?
Yeah, sure.
To try to determine. Let me try to beat a 10.
Can I make the same roll before I go
Apparently,
follow
the
him?
boss is not working the way it is supposed to.
They're getting
Sir
the 20s
Quinn,
out of their way.
Your head swims, Sir Quinn, and you collapse to your knees. And it seems like the elven medicine is overcoming your frail mortal form. Sir Lunette, you wanted to make an awareness roll as well?
Yeah, before I follow him.
Okay.
Sure, why not? Yes, and I get it.
Oh
I have
my.
a 15, so.
Sir Lunette, as he was speaking those words, Caliborn was staring deadlocked straight into your eyes.
Snap.
Mmm.
My eyes?
Snap.
Your eyes.
What?
In
What?
your
Well, that makes
eyes,
sense that I would see it.
Californs.
All right, I'm gonna follow him, I guess. Then.
Okay, so you follow out the back of this tent, out these tent flaps, and Caliborn isn't in sight anymore. But momentarily he comes back down the path that was shrouded in shadow, and he's got a series of elves following him with like lantern globes, and stuff like that. And behind him are like a series of elves bearing strange-looking elvish instruments, various stringed instruments and woodwind instruments. And he comes back and he stops in front of you, standing up very straight and tall with his hands clasped in front of him, and he says, "You must forgive me. I did not realize we had a lady in attendance here this evening. Please, we should have a dance."
Okay.
Is that how you say it?
Well, I mean, is he like offering his hand to me?
No, no,
What
no.
is-
He's very
Oh.
demure. He
Okay.
doesn't make any contact with you or anything. He sort of
Okay.
steps past you, and the elves who are with him sort of follow him around. And as he's about to enter the tent, he turns back behind him and he says, "Will you join me?" He raises an eyebrow.
How could I not?
Wait, he's entering a tent and saying,
Yeah,
"Do you want to dance?"
he's returning back into the large pavilion tent where you guys
Oh,
had
okay.
ate.
I thought he was entering like his
How
private
could I
tent.
His
and he's
private
like, "Do you
tent.
want to dance?" I'm like, "Wait a minute."
Lord,
You
Caliborn.
know,
And I
a
follow him.
vertical dance.
You already had Sir Quinn. You want Sir
Yeah. All right. So the musicians set up down at the end of the pavilion where the main table is, and they strike up a stately waltz, and it's actually very strange music because you're kind of used to like tavern music and tambourines and drums and like reeded flute kind of instruments, and this is very sort of like 18th century orchestral. So it's completely anachronistic for what your expectations are of music and dancing.
But it's beautiful, right?
Yeah, it is beautiful and haunting and enchanting. And all of the elves immediately start pairing off in couples and start, skirting figures around the room. And Caliborn approaches you, Sir Lunette, and he says, "Lady, would you care to dance with me this evening?"
I'm not the best of dancers, but perhaps you can teach me?
He withdraws his hand and he pauses for a moment and closes his eyes. And he opens them and he looks at you and he says, "It's been a long time since I've instructed anyone in the art of dance, but I believe I could give it my best shot."
Okay, I offer him my hand.
All right.
Awkwardly. I'm like
So
super awkward
Oh snap!
about
Yeah,
it because I
he-
do not
he,
know
like-
how to dance.
He grabs your hand and then he like grabs it differently and then he's like, "No, hold your hand like this. No, like this." And then he just like grabs it and grabs you and he like wrestles you into position and he's like, "Okay, now the right foot and then the left foot and then the right foot and then the left foot." And then
Feels like that's not how you dance.
as the evening continues, he begins to instruct you in the ways of dancing elvish dances. Lunette, would you roll against your dancing?
Is Lunette
Oh,
just like
it's
twerking
terrible. It's gonna
right
be
now? Like,
terrible.
what?
I think I
Yeah,
have
but you can impress
dancing
this guy.
too. Okay.
Would you roll against
Throw
your
down.
dancing?
Oh, I rolled a 2. I
You got some.
yes. Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
I
can't
was
believe
even
this
going to
credit.
give you a plus 10. Okay, that's fantastic. So check that. So are the rest of you joining the dances this evening?
I'm not. I'm off praying for Sir Quim because I know for sure he's dead tomorrow.
I'm still sticking with Sir Quinn. Help prepping him for the battle. Maybe sparring with a little bit. Whatever he feels he needs.
Yeah. Sir Quinn, what are you doing? Are you stressing out?
Am I stressing out? Am I recovered from the medicine that I like kind
Yeah,
of?
like a half hour passes, some of the elves bring you a little bit of water and you splash it on your face and they're all sort of like, "Oh my god, what is this?"
I don't suppose there's a full moon out.
You know what? I think there is a full moon tonight.
Quinn
Maybe I'll-
turns
maybe-
into a werewolf.
Maybe I'm gonna drop the bobble.
Oh shit.
That's why I was asking for the water earlier.
Oh.
So yeah, you go to the stream where the servants were washing the pots and pans earlier,
Oh.
and you're gonna drop the bauble in it.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, you look up and there's a beautiful moon above you, and there's a strange disc-like sliver around the moon that you've never seen before in your life. It is really very strange, but it is full. The light is shining brightly off of it. So you're going to drop the bauble into the water.
Yes.
Bloop. And the water roils and bubbles as this bauble heats up to, super hot temperatures. And then rising vertically out of the water is the maiden Briallen.
Briallen.
And
How fares he?
she shakes her perfectly dry, thickly coiled, bright red hair that glows in the moonlight. And she laughs and she says, "Well, well, if it isn't Sir Quinn, I never expected to see you here in the realm of fairy. Tell me, how goes?"
Well, this might be
I
the
leave at this
last
point.
time. This
Sorry,
might.
Sir Philip, you're leaving?
Oh.
Yeah, I leave him alone at this point in time.
Okay.
All right, yeah, cool.
My fair maiden, this might be the last time you see me at all, for I have found myself in the land of the fairies, and I have encountered the Elven King, Caliborn.
Ah. And she has this stricken look on her face, and she says, "Then you are surely dead." Ah, Sir Quinn, I weep for this misfortune that you have stumbled into fairy and come across Caliborn, for he will surely cleave you asunder for the crime of slaying his hind. And as she's saying that, she's got like her hand on her forehead, and she's looking up into the moonlight. Yeah.
Yes.
As she stands on the running water of the.
In fact, fair maiden, I slain that hind was slain for you.
Yes, indeed it was. You had did me a great service, and I wish only that I could alleviate this. But Caliborn is a passionate man, and I know not what can shake him from his convictions.
Well, you did tell me that perhaps the love of another might be able to do it. But
yes,
if
yes.
there's...
Have you brought a maiden of pale hair here?
Sort of.
And she looks at you and she says, "What
Oh
meanest
my
thou?"
gosh.
Our quest to find this maiden actually is what made us encounter the fairy king in the first place. We were on our way to hopefully convince this maiden to meet with the fairy lord, and that is when we came across the fairy lord after I got, well, actually my amazingly impressive hunting skills found him right away when we weren't even trying to. So here we are.
She nods and she says, "My, that is an interesting tale. Well, I am sorry for you, my friend."
There's nothing else you could tell me that might assist me.
I could perhaps make an attempt to petition on your behalf with the Lord Caliborn, but he is so morose in the evenings, and the camp is dark and cold, and the elves retire, and they speak not, and I find that it will probably be difficult to rouse him from his sorrows. But Sir Quinn, lead me to his tent, and I will see if we can rouse him and speak.
Okay.
So, the two of you stroll off together. Sir Emerus, how are you praying? What are you doing? Have you like found a secluded area in this glade and have erected like some makeshift cross or something like that?
Yes, I guess. That sounds good to me.
Good.
I made sure that the trees looked like simple sticks and like weren't some sort of. I don't want to piss off our the people hosting us, so I make sure that it's not anything that they're gonna miss to make the makeshift cross.
Sounds fine. Yeah, you find like a couple of random branches on the ground that don't look like they're, a part of any sigil or anything like that, and you lash them together with a bit of twine or whatever and stick it in the earth and kneel and begin contemplating your piety and your God and, how you are so very, very far from home in this strange pagan realm. And after a moment, you hear a quiet cough from behind you.
I open like my right eye to look at him to make sure that he understands that I'm in contemplation.
Sir Knight. And there's a young elven man with dark raven hair, who's wearing just a simple leather outfit, and he says, "Sir Knight, may I don't wish to intrude, but you must understand I've always had an interest in mortal lore, and I've always been listening for tales of mortals. In fact, when I was much younger, my sister was rumored to have been stolen away to the mortal realm, and I wondered if you could tell me anything of her."
I shut my eye again and finish my prayer real quick and make the sign of the cross and stand up and turn to him and say, what was your sister's name?
Her name was Briallen.
I guess I've heard Quinn say this name multiple times, correct?
Well, and Ronald.
And Ronald?
Ronald was in love with Briallen all the time.
That's
All
true.
he talked about was her.
That's true.
It's true.
I forgot.
It's true.
I know.
I scratch my chin and I say, I have heard of this woman. What do you know of her? And what?
Why? I know that she is my sister.
What do you know of what happened to her?
Did not die by falling off of a horse, a matter of fact.
She visited the mortal realm on an accident once, and she met a mortal man and fell in love and promised to stay with him forever and ever. And yet, she was struck by a piece of iron and marked with the mark on her, and thus was trapped between fairy and the mortal realm. And I know that if a gentleman such as yourself were to undertake a quest and collect the hairs of a white hind, and only the last white hind that I know of in this realm of fairy has been slain only very recently, and it is most upsetting, sir. I wish I had some news.
I say, come with me. Let me introduce you to someone. And I go and look for Quinn.
All right. So, Sir Quinn, you're walking with
snap.
Briallen. And as you're walking past the pavilion and the strains of music are coming out of it, Briallen puts a hand on your shoulder and she says, Sir Quinn, wait. What is this?
Briallen, this is the area of the Fairy King that we have found in our travel west.
No, that can't be right. This must be another encampment. There is far too much mirth and joy. Listen, hark. I hear laughter coming from within the tent. This cannot be the right place. Are you certain that it is Caliborn you met?
I am certain, for when we arrived at this place, it was very solemn, and even Caliborn himself met us with much coldness. But as the dinner and celebration took place, I do believe that the air has lightened a bit around here. I don't know. I found it normal.
She grabs your hand and she dashes towards the tent and throws open the curtain, and you see a ring of Elven nobility who are dressed in the finest gowns with insects, bejeweled insects forming part of their clothing, and there are fireflies swarming in a spiral in the air high up in this tent. And in the center of this circle, Caliborn is wheeling around and dancing a sprightly dance with Sir Lunette. And the song comes to a dramatic climax, and all of the fairies cheer and shout. And Caliborn sketches a deep bow, and he laughs graciously and full-throatedly. And everybody can hear him say, "Why, Lady Lunette, I have had the most enjoyable evening dancing with you. I find you a most scintillating partner, and your dancing skill is most purely excellent. I have not had this much enjoyment in quite some time. I wish to thank you very deeply for your companionship this evening."
I curtsy, bows very low, and look at him and say, and you as well.
He departs and he strides in the direction of Sir Quinn and Briallen. And at that very moment, Sir Emrys and this other gentleman open the curtain at the other end of the pavilion. And let's have a break.
There we go.
Nice.
Cool. We'll be back with hour number 3 right after this, guys. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you then.